Today I'm going to show you how we like to install a pintle hook on the back of a 53-foot trailer to haul doubles.
I have to disconnect everything so that I can dock the 53 down in there, that building. Then I'll come back and pick this one up and dock it. Shut off the air valves right here, which is what they're for, and then release the air, which will release the brakes. Disconnect the air right here. Pull the pin. Got the air brakes on, and we're ready to pull away. Okay, so that's how it's done. There's a little tip on it disconnected. And when I'm ready to connect, this is basically the setup. I'll hook the dolly up to the truck and then back it under.
Alright, so here's the 53-foot trailer that we're going to install a pintle hook on so that we can haul doubles. It's going to take about the next 3 days, actually. So let's get started.
Okay, this is important. Number one, I'm gonna take all this wiring. We got our 3 lights here. We've got lights going through this beam, and then this is the main electrical from the front 7-pin plug. All of this needs to be moved unless you want to like burn it up, because we're going to be welding right here, cutting and torching and grinding. And the first one I didn't do it, and I burned a lot of wiring. So save yourself some trouble. I'm going to cut all this down and move it. And what I'm going to do is, it has this junction box right here. A lot of these wasabs do. I'm going to put a junction box right here. So all this wiring is going to be moved to right here. And I think it's better because if anything electrical problem comes down the line, like the lights don't work, the blinkers don't work, you can come right to the junction box and diagnose it and fix it. Actually, these 3 lights right here, we're going to put them up top. So we're going to run new wire up this pipe here. Okay, we don't need this license plate thing because it's totally in our way. Let's cut it out. We're going to use the plasma cutter. Turn that on. This job's going to require a lot of cutting, a lot of grinding. Cut and grind, baby. I got this beautiful I-beam here, and we're going to cut it to fit right here between the frame rails at 41 inches. To get the rest of the way, we have a couple choices. We can either use a grinding wheel with a cutoff wheel or the plasma cutter. What do you want to use? I say we go with the plasma cutter. So I like to use it with a straight edge. It's like a 1/4 inch offset from the tip to the cut. So we'll just estimate that like a 1/4 inch. Very important. Remember that electrical. We got these cutouts right here for the electrical, and we want to cut it into our beam. Otherwise, it will have a hard time, if we ever have an electrical problem, to pull the wires back through. So we're going to go ahead and cut those holes into our beam right here. So I'll go ahead and mark them out. That's pretty good freehand, right? Okay, the big beam is ready. We got to grind it all the way around. Now, this thing is totally rusted in here, but we got to grind it down because, as you know, when we go to weld it, it needs to be clean, otherwise the weld's not going to stick. So we'll probably spend a good half hour right here getting this grinded down to metal so it'll stick. Okay, that looks good. And we got, so from the edge, we got 3 3/8. 3 3/8. Okay, next thing. We need side plates right here because we have a hole, and it'll actually help. And then I'm going to weld the side plate all the way around here and to this beam right here. And then when you're pulling the other trailer, it'll pull against this and the top and everything. It'll be real secure. I always use a straight edge with a couple clamps so that I get a straight line. I don't want to freehand this. I want straight cuts. And this plasma cutter will actually cut pretty dang nice. All right, 2 side plates. So we got the side walls on and the cutouts for the electrical, which you want. It'll look good once you paint it. And then I put in a little 2-inch here and welded it to the bumper. So this, okay, I'm gonna run down to the parts store now and grab our pintle hook and brake chambers and everything and lights. The lights I'm gonna put up top here. So here's the back of our plate. I've got the side plates, I got it all welded all down here. I even put a bottom plate here and welded it to the bumper. So now it's basically welded all in there. I've got the brake chamber. I've got the pintle hook on. It's bolted now. It took me a little while to drill these holes. So now we have a brake chamber here, and this is going to mount right here, and it's going to. It needs to push the pintle hook safety forward. So we need to take a measurement and then cut this. That is basically, it's like 5 inches. So we're gonna cut that, shape it, and then we can mount this right here. Alrighty, let's test it. So that's gonna go right there. And it's just, yep, perfect. So it's good to map these out. Lesson learned, this is how I like to place everything. I like the pintle hook, obviously in the middle. Around 32 to 34 inches seems to be about good. I usually put the license plate over here, so I already mounted that, drilled some holes. I welded 1 hook here, so I like to put the hooks here for the safety chain hooks, and then I like to put the red valve right here. Now a lot of our trucks, we have the red valve here, and then they'll have the blue valve over here. I don't necessarily like that because then you have to reach over the dolly to get to it. So I like to put the red valve there, put the blue valve here, so everything's on the same side. It just makes life easier. And then I'll put the electrical, the 7-pin electrical, up here. And that seems to be the best layout. What I like to do is I like to just use shims, and that's the height. So it'll be like, that's a 1/2 inch plywood, 1/2 inch off. And we'll put that, and I'll put a 1/2 inch piece between the pintle hook and that will be where we want it. Right there. Okay, so on the blue valve, we have to have the air lines going through the middle. Here's the template. So that's like 1 1/8 hole. So I can either plasma cut that, which I have done in the past, or you can use one of these step drills, which are pretty quick. I mean, once you get like a 3/8 hole in there, this will just open it up. And these black ones, get the black steel. This is the same one I've used on 3 pintle hooks. I just got it at Harbor Freight, but get the black steel ones because they last longer, because I broke one of the regular ones real quick. Okay, so here's the good setup right here. Ooh, we got a lot of dirt on the lens. Let's clean that up. Now we have our shut-off valves for the air that goes to the trailer we're gonna pull. The last thing that we need, I think, is the 7-pin electrical plug for the electricity. I think I'm gonna put it right here in the middle, right about there. This is an awkward, and it has a little black boot to cover the wires, so I'm going to use that as a template for I think I'm going to put it up about, I think right there. That looks pretty good right there. So we're gonna drill that. Let's draw a circle. And it's got a little thing, so as long as the boot will go through, then we'll go pretty good. So as long as this will go through there, looks like we got a little extra. Now for that, we're gonna plasma cut it because it's too big to be drilling that kind of a hole. It's thicker than I thought. Okay. So here it is. This is the best pintle hook setup that we like, anyways. With the you have the electrical up high, because if it's down low, the cable gets stretched too much. We've got the red valve, blue valve on the driver's side, which makes it a lot easier to hook it up, turn the valves on like that, instead of reaching over here, because we have trailers that are set up differently that you have to reach way over here, or actually you have to go to the other side. We have the license plate light, license plate. We've got our hooks, the pintle hook here to hook up our trailer. We should probably, yep, that works. This is brand new. There we go. The red valve. Now all we have to do is go to the back and hook it all up for real. Let's do that. So now we have to hook up the red and the blue lines. I'm going to splice it right here. A lot of people make the mistake, they're going to put it up front. But remember, these axles have to move. So that's what all this spring stuff, and that's what this is all about. We have rubber hose here for it to move. And then we'll hook our back one up right there. Now the pintle hook is designed to pull like a 28-foot, pup trailer behind it. So I usually like to put a support beam just right here, front and back, just to help. It's gonna go right, I think I'm gonna put it right there. That looks good. So the last thing we need to do is hook up the electrical junction box, which I have put them over here before, but there's too much stuff going on over here. So I've been putting them over here. It's just a lot easier. If anything ever electrical goes wrong, you can just put it. You know what I like? I'm hooking up the 7-pin right here. This little guy. What I like is that everything is labeled green, black, red, and the wiring loom here is actually in the same rotation and position as the pin connector. so everything like goes around and lines up rather than having to crisscross like in the automotive world. So we're gonna hook all this up, and when actually I think we still have the upper lights to do, and then we'll be done.
So here's a pintle hook setup that's on another one of our trailers. As you can see, the red and blue valves are on opposite sides, which can sometimes be awkward, but also that the plate is not recessed very far. And so when we back up to other trailers, as we often do, we will break those valves right off, which is a major problem if you don't have a spare.